Welcome back, everybody. All right, today I have a special guest, a unique guest. Nelson was one of the first guests that we had on the Gecko Exchange podcast. He's had a energy and a positivity that just surrounds him since the day I've come across his page, and nothing has changed in the years that have passed since. I've been dying to have him as a guest on this new show that we've been doing for a while now. We've finally been able to make it work, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have us a good conversation here. All right, Nelson. So for the people out there that don't know you, can you just introduce yourself, your business name, maybe some species that you're working with real quick before we get into the meat of this?
Yeah, absolutely. But first, I want to say thank you so much. I have to put that out there before I talk about myself. I want to say thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate what you're doing. I think you're doing one of the most amazing things, amazing jobs here. I see how you're encouraging people, and I want to be just like that. I want to encourage people like you do. Your guests are amazing from the first episode to your future episodes, and I get so excited when I see you have a premiere and I'm like watching it, and you're doing really good things, man. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Those are our community, man. I'm just trying to highlight the people that are out here around us, man. These are the people that I have access to, you have access to, the hobby has access to. I mean, I haven't had a bad guest yet. I haven't had a guest yet that would turn down a question. You know, any child off the street can ask them a question, or anybody getting into this hobby could ask them a question. And I would like to think that every person that I've had on this show would answer them questions with open arms, man. You know, they're great people doing great things, and like yourself, I deserve attention. You know, you shouldn't have to be a master of any specific gene, morph, or trait to matter, right? Like, you're doing great work. You're breeding and producing healthy animals. You're vending shows. You're getting children involved. You're doing so many amazing things in the hobby that you deserve just as much attention as the man pumping out 8,000 Xanthics a year. You know?
Yes.
So what's new since the last time will actually go?
Okay.
Introduce yourself. People know who you are, but I still would like you to introduce you, your brand, and some species real quick. It'll make more sense to people.
Yeah, I'm Nelson. I'm doing NCG Reptiles. That's our name. And if we go back before NCG, if you want to know who I am, I grew up in Chicago. I'm I'm still in the Chicagoland area, and so my experiences have been in the inner city. And you're like, how in the world did you get into reptiles, right? And I know I talked about this before. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. I had to attribute my reptile enthusiasm to my father, and growing up, he was a snake guy, so we had a lot of snakes, and so back in the 80s and 90s, popular animals were Burmese pythons, boa constrictors, and those type of snakes. We had milk snakes, and we had the whole living room. Our house had tanks, and back then they didn't have bioactive, so we had like small snakes in 10-gallon tanks, big snakes in 55-gallon tanks. That was like your only option. You had a 10-gallon tank, or you had a 55-gallon tank, or you had like I think 20-gallon was getting popular back then. But now things has changed from when I was younger, man. You have these amazing enclosures now, and you have people are
beautiful perspective to have. I think the kids and people that get into the hobby nowadays, sure, right? Like, without a doubt, they're doing things better than we did, right? But to be part of the beginning and evolve with the hobby, it's priceless. You can never see what I seen, what we saw in the 80s and 90s. You'll never be able, and rightfully good for the hobby. You don't want to see that again, but we were learning. If it wasn't for those times, we wouldn't have the ones we do today.
Exactly. Suppose when I was a kid, was in a barn. We had to drive like hour and a half out of the city, and it'd be a dirt floor and some tables. No, there was nothing fancy about it. Just a bunch of dudes with really cool animals, and you would go to each table and you'd be like, oh, I like that. And that's how we ended up with like oddball animals too. I had a Cayman alligator when I was a kid. It was something that was available. You can't get those now. And so, you know, green iguanas were really common back then too. And so I've had iguanas in my room roaming around and and stuff like that. So it's been a wild ride for a long time. And then speed up the time, I did end up working at a pet store when I was a kid, like a local pet store, which was really cool.
Awesome.
There was only two of them available at the time, and I wanted to work at both of them. So, but I ended up working at one with a guy named Tom. He was really awesome. He was way ahead of his time. He was building ponds. I was helping him helped him build ponds back then, and he was doing aquariums. He was going to people's houses, way ahead of his time. The stuff that people are doing now that seemed like really new and innovative, he was doing it back then. And unfortunately, he got out of the business when the big box stores came. It scared him away, and I was like, "No, don't leave. Like, this is something that you can keep going." But it scared a lot of those little mom and pop stores when those big box stores came in. And so then I went from there. I ended up going to college. And funny story, in college, I always had animals. I had a bearded dragon in my dorm room, and so they called me Jack Hanna at college. I gained the nickname because I always had some kind of animal, and they're like, "This guy is like this nature freak over here." So yeah, I've always had some kind of animal growing up, something around me, and and so it's been great, and foresee the future. Now I'm always gonna have something, whether it's a reptile, fish or whatever it may be, and
Sure.
part of that process is having my kids involved too, because it's been a very good influence, in my life, learning responsibility and taking care of animals, and, breeding was just part of it at some point. I just decided
That's
to,
huge for the kids, man. I mean,
try
they'll
stuff.
grow up with a passion like you did. It's a unique situation that we both have in common. Growing up with a father that loved animals. That exposed us to it. So when you
Hmm.
think back in hindsight at all of our friends that didn't have that, it's probably the same thing. Your kids probably don't have a lot of friends with fathers that breed reptiles. Like
Yeah.
it's a super
Yep.
unique insight to a different world that I think all children should have, but they don't. And that's one of the things I really, really love about you is how you do keep the kids involved.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It all comes down from their grandfather, my dad. It does what you do with your kids reflects, and I'm hoping when they get older, they do the same thing with their kids. It
And I
doesn't
bet
have
they
to be
will.
reptiles; it could be anything.
I bet
Any
they
kind of.
will. I bet they will.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
it's just they won't have a fear. It's something they've already been exposed to, and they're gonna see. They're gonna know what good parents are by the time they get that old. When they get good, they're like, wow, we had good parents. And this was what they did, and animals will be part of that. Amongst many other things, but animals will be part of that. That's It's a beautiful thing. It's how this hobby grows, right? It's how this hobby stays alive. Someone introduced it to the next generation, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when did the New Cal Geckos, when did New Caledonia pop up onto your plate?
So I was at an expo years ago, and I saw a gargoyle gecko. It was a little black and white one with the blue eyes, and I knew nothing about New
What year?
Caledonia.
Do you remember what year it was?
Man, I wish I did. It's a blur because I've always been in and out. I want to say 10 years ago, maybe more. No, 15 years ago, maybe. And I saw one at the local reptile expo because I used to just go just to look at the reptiles too, just to kind of hang out and see. And wait, hold on, we got a little one coming to say hi.
What's up? How are
So
you?
this is so this is my youngest one. Okay, all right, go upstairs. And so,
That's awesome.
where was I? So yeah, I was at the expo and I saw a gargoyle gecko, and I just asked him, "What is that?" It's a gargoyle gecko, and it stayed in the back of my head. Like, man, that's an amazing animal. I tried to go see other ones; they weren't anywhere. I haven't seen a gargoyle gecko for a long time. And finally, I ran into another one, maybe 5 or 6 years later. I'm like, then I started asking, I'm like, how hard are these to take care of? And oh, it's easy. I'm like, it's easy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, any special lighting? Guy's like, no. What's their diet? And they got a little powder diet. I was like, that's it. What size cage? And he told me what size cage. I'm like, man, I could have one of those. It's easy. And so, and I knew I wanted to introduce my kid to something, and it was like the perfect animal. Easy to take care of, no special lighting, no special heating. They breed very easy. I wish I knew who the breeder was that was talking to me, because it was kind of like he was walking with the gecko to another table, and I saw it and I stopped him and he had it in his hand. I was like, wow, that's a beautiful animal. And that's what sold me on it, was knowing that it was an easy animal to take care of. It was a rare animal. You couldn't see him anywhere at the time. And I was like, that's perfect. When I get the opportunity and I finally have a space for this animal, I'm going to get one. And that's what I did. When I had my first chance to pick up a gargoyle gecko, that's exactly what I did. I went and picked one up. I brought it home, and I was like, this is my birthday present. I bought myself a birthday present. It was around my birthday time. So I was like, yeah, this is my gift to myself. So, but then I shared it with the kids, and they loved it.
Do you remember where you got the first one?
I got it from the one of the local pet stores.
Oh yeah, you still have it? You still have that animal?
Yeah, it's the black and white one. I actually have it. It's on my Instagram. That's my forever gecko. It's yeah.
Did you wind up buying a tank and everything the same day too? How did you go about that? Did you get a tank, an enclosure?
No, I bought everything first, and that's what I try to tell people. I bought the
smart thing.
I bought the tank, yeah, and I went full bioactive, just like most people do. I'm like, I want this perfect, so I bought a tank. I did some research, and want to see how to make a bioactive tank. I put the cork bark in there and the leaves, and the only problem was when I bought the gecko. The gecko was a little bit too small for the tank size that nobody told me that you want to keep a little baby gecko in a small tank. I went full blown. I'm like, in the wild, they don't have a tank. It should be fine. What's the difference between the wild and your tank? But there is a difference.
Well,
sure. So when you're housing a gecko at home, you want to let the gecko grow with the tank size. So you want baby gecko like in a 6-quart, and as it gets bigger, put them in, double size 12-quart. And then, finally anything from like 18, one of those 12 by 12 by 18s to the 18 by 24s. Anywhere in between from there for one adult gecko would be ideal, So as they grow with the tank, they grow better, they eat better, you can watch them easier. When you put a little tiny gecko in a big giant tank, man, you lose that thing, you don't know where it's at. You don't even know if it's eating, it's probably scared in the corner. So yeah, it was definitely a learning experience, a little bit of a learning curve. Like, why is this gecko not growing? Like, I've had this thing for months, and I'm feeding it and throwing it crickets. I have all this food in there, and I'm like, I even got lighting. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Am I spraying it down? Well, what I was doing wrong was I had the big giant tank for a little tiny animal.
It's still a commonly made mistake, people. Yeah. It's one of the most common.
And there was no one to go to. No one was breeding them. I didn't know anything about them. So I didn't know anybody who had them as pets. So it was all just trial and error at the time.
So how were you linking up? How were you getting information from people? Did you go on any like forums, or, I mean, if the community was that small, how were you networking? And
what I did was I started going to more expos, for local expos, and then I would ask people that had them, like, how do you take care of them? And then books. I was like, let me find a book. I was on the internet looking for books, and anything that I can find, anything that I could read, I could put my hands on. Any kind of anything to try to figure out what's going on.
That's all.
And even with the books, they didn't have a lot of information. So we're still all learning right now. Even all these years later, the information is not really out there. So it's these kind of community, what you're doing now, and in the videos that I try to put out, just it's what I'm learning at that time. By all means, I don't even know if there's any experts out there. We have some really smart people who have these geckos and really are very, very intelligent, and I've learned a lot from them, but there's so much more to learn. Yep. It's not everything's there. So yeah.
A lot to still learn.
There's so much more. Yeah.
So
And I
what?
try to keep my mind open for all these
I
ideas.
have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
And I never shut anybody out, even if I feel like maybe the information is a little bit skewed. I try to figure out, okay, why would they say that in the first place? Because
Sure.
if you can understand the why, you can put two and two together, and then you can make a better analysis of what to do with these animals.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. So when did you realize you were gonna get your second one and breed? When did you realize that NCG was destiny? When did you realize you were starting a business and you were gonna breed these animals and you were going all in? How far after your first animal and what made you want to walk us through that
I saw
phase?
I saw the I saw the enthusiasm in my kids, in my family. They're like, man, Dad's so happy with these animals. Why does he like them so much? And so I just got another one. I was like, I'm gonna try breeding it. And I heard they're easy. It's just something you can do. So I bought another one, full bioactive, same thing. Did put it all together, and so then I had two. And then my wife's like, "Wow, you really like these animals?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really do." She's like, "We're at another expo." She's like, "This one's beautiful. Do you want this one?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do want that one." So it just slowly, it was just a slow build. And then once you get to about 10 geckos, then you're like, okay, what am I doing? You're like, all right, am I breeding? Am I trying to sell? Am I trying to what am I doing? And then you go to another expo and you're like, wow, that one's beautiful. So I was just like, I like this gecko, I like that gecko, let me get that gecko. And it wasn't like I'm gonna sell geckos. It was like, oh, I like that one. It was like I finally have room, and there was a period of time where I didn't have any animals because we're in the process of moving or doing something or a job, and so there was a couple years where I didn't have anything. So finally, when I had my opportunity to get some animals, it's like nonstop. I'm like, okay, I want that one, I want that one, that one, that one. I'm started doing stuff, and so that's kind of how it just snowballed.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. Well, but it's. I mean, that's how it goes for a lot of us. I mean,
yeah.
it's we get carried away. At times,
Exactly
but
what happened. You can't say it any better. Carried away is definitely
then you got
what
to make a
happened.
choice, right? Then you got to make it
Yeah.
worthwhile, right? Like, am I going to try to make money off of this? Am I going to contribute, education and observations?
Hmm.
Like, where you got to find your place in this whole world of reptiles slash geckos,
Yeah.
and that can be a bit overwhelming too, But
Yeah.
you didn't hesitate. You went all in. You started your vending. You
Hmm.
breeding, producing different species of animals. How many species are you keeping now from all in general, but New Caledonia? Tell us some of the species you got.
So yeah. So I got the Gargs, obviously, and I got a bunch of Cresties. I got some cave geckos and some Ebenawis, leaf-tailed geckos, and chihuahuas. I got one lychee. Hopefully, in the near
Yeah, I
future, I
told
hear
you.
about a
Yep,
second one around the corner.
sure do. Listen, I'm a man of my word. It's
Yeah.
yours. It's yours. I just want to, and you understand. I my
Yeah.
first ever Lichianis eggs, babies. I just want to watch them grow and develop more for me to learn about my pair. I want to learn what to look for with my pair and what does what and what these things look. I've never had the opportunity. I mean, all of my babies, yeah, my lychees I raised from babies, but I never actually had the parents produce the eggs and then watch them develop into what they are. So that's kind of like what I'm doing. But once I got the hang of what's really going on and what they're doing and the temperatures are good, it's yours, man. What am I going to do with 10 animals from the same pair, right? I mean, it makes zero sense. I can't pair them back to each other. I can't do anything with them. I got those two eggs are incubating, should hatch in the next couple weeks, and I can tell she's got eggs in her already. So I'm already panicking. Like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's where I find myself now. That's why you see me doing so many things. Uh, Vending is just something that I wanted to do because I always went to the shows. Everything I do, I don't really do it for the money, to be honest with you, right? Like it's nice to be able to have the geckos pay for themselves. You know, that's like the cliche thing to say. But I really just like the animals. Like, I don't really want to sell anything. I have all these animals. I produce these animals. I look at them. Every single one has something special about it. And for me to sell it, I'm like, that person may not know why I like it, why it's special to me, right? So I don't know the future of NCG because I just keep collecting these animals and I don't really put too many out to sell. But the shows help me sell because a lot of times I get to talk to the person face to face. And when I see their face smile and I tell them about how amazing this gecko is, it's easier for me to let it go. I'm like, here's my little baby, you know, you can buy this gecko and I'll forever help you, with that gecko if you
That
have any
says a
questions,
lot, though. It says a lot about you. It says a lot about your animals. To care that much is huge. That's the type of people should want to buy animals from people like you. They weren't produced to sell. They were produced for my joy and pleasure. Now, I've got so many that I have to make choices, and I'm doing you a favor of letting you have the opportunity to buy them. That's like a super unique thing, I mean, that's it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But it helps you. It helps you pay. It gives you room to produce more. It's helps your learning process. Because every time you produce a new clutch, none of us have ever produced two identical animals. Something's always different, so something's always changing, and it gives us the opportunity to observe those changes. And I mean, it sucks. I know where you're coming from. I hate having to sell animals and stuff. I'd rather give them to someone I know that appreciates them as much. All day, any day. All day, any day, I'd rather give an animal to someone that I know appreciates what it is versus someone that's like, oh, I'm not bashing anyone, God, by any means.
No.
That doesn't have one. Like, oh, I'm getting my first animal. I want to get my first one. I want that one. I'm like, oh, hold on. We're not going to go killing this dude here. He's not an experiment. We're not doing that with him. You got pet stores for those. But that's still a beautiful thing. It's a unique. I say it all the time though. You're a very unique person. Your whole perspective and the way you operate your business, and it's. I mean, you're legitimately for the people, right? Like, you want to share your passion, your creations with people. It's really not about the money with you, man. I most people know I'm not shy about it. I mean, few of my animals have come from you, and guys, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, I literally just mentioned something like, wow, it'd be cool to do this or cool to work with that. And Nelson's like, hey, I got it. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm sending it to you. I'm like, I mean, I appreciate it. I love it. Damn. I mean, how do you say no? But I mean, let's just say I can relate,
Yeah.
I will have so much joy knowing that one of those baby leechies is with you, growing up, living a great life with, better than me having to come take care of it and worry about something going wrong. Like, Nelson's got it. It's good. Don't have to worry. That's a beautiful thing. One of the first animal I produced will be with you. That's a huge honor. That's a huge honor.
That is a beautiful honor. I can't thank you enough.
Don't have to. I told you, man. Send him one for the kids, man. You already got one before. I would have given it to you before you got the other one, to be honest with you. But
you told me years ago. You did. You were. This was something that you just didn't think about yesterday.
Well, I bought them and raised them for years, man. People forget. I mean, I don't say people forget, but it's something people learn the hard way in this hobby, right? You can't just buy an animal and breed them. It takes time.
No.
It's time involved.
Yes. Time. Lots of time.
Raising them, growing them up, and then sometimes that's not even it. There's these hobby standards. You got to wait for this age and this weight. I've yet to have an age and a weight coincide with each other yet. Like, I have never been able to be like, oh, it's 2 years and they're 40-something grams ready to go. It's never worked out that way for me. I've always got something, where something just hasn't been right, and I'm just like, I don't know. Let me just wait. Let me. I got other things going on. I don't need to rush it.
Yeah.
So what would you say you're best known for? What would you like to be best known for? Gargoyles, crested geckos, the other stuff? What do you?
It's funny you say that, because I don't want to be known for anything. I want to be known for somebody who's been in the hobby and supports other people. I want to, when I see, honestly, when I see people producing really amazing things and they're really cool people, I feel like I'm the one that's actually producing those animals. And so I enjoy being around like-minded people, meaning, people who are into the hobby, who's pushing things forward and being creative. And so that really, I mean, maybe it comes with age and having a bunch of kids. I have, I have no idea. But being known for that guy who's very supportive in the hobby and drama free, no drama whatsoever. I try not
You
to have
need that.
any drama. I want to be known for just a guy that has some really cool animals. It doesn't have to
Awesome.
be one thing.
It's a great answer.
Yeah,
It's an awesome answer. You don't want to be known for the animals per se, but the impact that you have on the people that deal with the animals. It's a beautiful
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
It's awesome.
There's more than one perspective. It's not just selling and
For sure.
making money. It's more than that. It's
For
so
sure.
much more.
For sure.
You
You ain't
know.
lying. I mean,
Yeah,
I can name a few people, yourself included, that I met through this hobby that I'm just like, I'll likely be friends with these people for the rest of my life. Like, I will likely talk to these people a few times a month, if not a week, for the rest of my life. You know,
yeah.
and
That's amazing.
people don't. I don't know that people understand the value in that. The beauty in the community mindset. The community building. I mean, that's what I like myself. I could care less. I mean, obviously, I care about these animals, but it's not what I want to be known for. I want to bridge gaps. I want to get people to the information. I want to knock down walls and make it easy for people to access each other. And that's it's a job in itself, sure, but
A lot of work, but you're doing it. You're doing a great job.
yeah. But that my point is that there, like you had mentioned, there's so much more involved in this community thing than just the animals. So many other ways that people can be an asset. You don't have to be making $10,000 animals with every clutch to make an impact. I mean, honestly, some of the greatest people I've met so far stay in that pet animal price range type of lane. They like Wally at Supreme Gecko, for example. Wally doesn't specialize in selling, $1,500 gargoyle geckos or crested geckos. He's probably in the 200 to 300, maybe even $100 to $300 price range, where he goes to shows where a family can walk by and he can teach a family about this animal and get that family involved for a specific price. You know what I'm saying? Because when you I mean you deal with all types of animals, some easily accessible priced animals, and you deal with some animals that cost in the thousands of dollars range. You're not typically going to find the mom and dad with the two little kids that walk by the reptile table and say, "I want to get my kid a gecko. I want that $2,000 one." It's not a likely
No,
scenario, right? When you sell
it's
animals
not
that
going to happen.
cost a certain amount of money, you're limiting your customer base. Like you're which is cool for anyone that does it. I'm not bashing it by any means. If that's your lane, stick with it. But we can't have everyone doing that, obviously, right? Like there's got to be, everybody's got to find their niche in this hobby, and everyone can, is what I'm really trying to get at. Is that there's so many things you can do, whether it's just community building, relationship building, product lines, like Mike from Parkour Geckos. He's studied the hobby as a whole and sees things that everybody complains about, and everybody's got a problem with, and he's, for argument's sake, solving the gecko community's issues with a 3D printer. Like he's just critiquing issues that we have with his solutions. It's everybody can find a place. I believe there's room for everyone, and I also believe, and I've said it a million times, that the little girl with one leopard gecko is just as important as the company that's out there, ZooMed, pumping out a million glass terrariums a year. That little girl matters just as much, if not more so. If not more so. She's got more
Absolutely.
time left on this planet than ZooMed does. So it's, and I like seeing people find those different lanes like yourself, that's, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And gives me a feeling of hope, hope for the community, the future of the hobby, reptiles in general. It's there's a place for everybody. It's the community. If you talk to people that don't keep reptiles, people have this idea or impression that reptile people are like these bunch of weirdo people with face tattoos and piercings all over their bodies, and they don't shower and they don't do this. They just got these weird like grunge rock idea of what a reptile breeder is, and they're so wrong. It's
Yeah.
so hey, it is what it is. So back to the geckos. Out of all the species you work with, what would you say you enjoy? Is there any one species you enjoy working with more than the other?
So I'm learning that Chihuahua geckos are just amazing species of animal. I love my gargs, and they're what really got everything rolling. And I love crested geckos because of the vast variety of things you could work with. The exotics and the lily whites, and phantoms, and so there's just so much creativity in the crested gecko world
Unrivaled.
that I love.
Unrivaled.
Yeah.
By few things in reptiles at all. Geckos by, I guess, leopard geckos, but one of those species that's if you have a creative mind, crested geckos are your thing, man, because there's literally not much you can't do. It's interesting.
So Chihuahuas are a very personable gecko. They come up to you like little puppies.
I've told people this for years, man. Everybody's finally just started catching on.
Yeah. I wish I would have got a Chihuahua much earlier in life, because it's what I imagined a gargoyle gecko would be, but it's actually a Chihuahua that has that personality that I really like. They're so personable. They move with intent, and they look at you, and they're aware of what's going on. They don't just scatter or jump off of you. You open the tank. I just posted a Chihuahua that was climbing up the. I have a fan in my gecko room, and the cable fell down. And the Chihuahua decided I had the tank open that it wanted to climb up on it, so it jumped on this cable. No other gecko in the world. I have 100 geckos in the room. None of them did that. Well, for sure, the Chihuahua decided he wanted to be a little monkey and jump on the cable, and it just sat there looking at me. I'm like, this little thing is amazing.
It's hard. I'm like out of things to say to people about them. Like you just have to have one. If you don't have one and you don't know, they're not. They're not. I don't want to say they're not like any other New Caledonian gecko, because they obviously are in some ways, but in some ways they're unrivaled by any other gecko, period. I mean, they're like you're saying, so inquisitive. They do everything with intent. I mean, I have over 30 of them. I have a lot, probably well over 30 now, but every one of them has a different personality. Every one of them does. No two are the same. No two are the same, and no two of my Chihuahuas do anything the same. They are just so different. It's just so, and if you were to say that to me with crested geckos, I couldn't say that I don't have a lot of them that all act exactly the same. They have very, very similar personalities. They do very, very similar things. Chihuahuas, I can distinguish them by personality alone, behaviors alone, behavior, habits alone. I mean, they're just they're a very special gecko. Now, if they had the colors the crested geckos have, if you were able to do the color stuff with Chihuahuas the way you can with crested geckos, nobody would even know any of these other geckos existed. That's how cool I think they are. Like they're just insane. What do you have now? Two of them?
I have 3 now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have 3.
You've been doing a lot behind the scenes, huh?
There just happens. I don't know how it happens. It just happens. Like, I don't plan it. One was a trade. Somebody fell in love with my Ebonawis and wanted one. I was like, well, you could have one, but they're like, no, you got to trade it. And so I ended up with the Chihuahua.
Well, that is
that way. And then the other one, was from Phil Tremper. He was another one that I had. I met him at Tinley, and I had a few of my Ebenawis for another breeder had called me, wanted some, and so I had brought a few of them, so you can pick from the uh, ones that I had brought, and I had 2 still, so I brought 4 altogether, and then I was at Phil Tremper's table, and I'm like, oh, look at these little geckos, these little leaf tails, and he just fell in love with them. He's like, I gotta have them. It's like, he's like, what are you doing with them? How much do you want? I'm like, just give me an offer me something, whatever you want, just tell me what you want, I'll give it to you for, I said, I think it's an honor to meet you, and I said, I've been following you for a long time, I love your animals. He said, basically he said, pick an animal, and we'll do a trade. I said, okay. And so I ended up getting a beautiful Chihuahua from him on a trade with, and I wasn't even there trying to trade. I was just showing him because I knew he had all these beautiful animals. I'm like, look at, have you ever worked with these? And he's like, oh yeah, I've worked with them in the past. I haven't had them in years. And he said, I'd love to have a pair. And I had a pair ready right there. And I said, okay, let's do it. So I ended up with that one. And then Jason was the last one. Jason, your guy, your partner.
Yeah.
He just like you, he said he's gonna, his first Chihuahua. We've been talking for a long time, and just like you said with your lychee, and so we make these connections, and that's what's important about these connections, because we all help each other out. We're not looking to, one up anybody. You have these animals. Hey, you want to work with this? Here you go. Here. Oh, you want to work with it too? Here you go. That's the kind of community I like to work with, and it's working. It's happening. So when you ask me, like, what do I want to be known for? I just want to be known for, the guys that's good. I want to help other people out. If I have something that I know you're working for. So when I got into this, when I first started looking for, like, the gargoyle geckos, like these red ones, they were hard to get to. I was like, I did want the red ones. I said, I had the black and white, and so I was like, yeah, those red ones are really beautiful. I want a really nice red one, the best one I can get. And at the time I was looking, they were all being shipped. They were all being exported. There's no American breeders selling at the time when I started reaching out to anybody. Every time I called somebody, it was like, oh, that one's sold. Oh, that was sold. Oh, I don't have any right now. Like, where are all these geckos at? I even reached out to another breeder. I'm like, can I prepay for a gecko? I can't get a red gecko anywhere at the time. And he was like, I'm not going to mention names. He was like, no, it's first come, first serve. I'm not taking any money for any, I'm going to put it out. And when it's available, if you're the first one to get it, you can get it. I'm like, can I buy one for next year then? Or your next one? Like, can I get it? And so, because I kind of like that, it was kind of a blessing that I couldn't get those fancy geckos at the time, because it made me look at what else is out there. What else can I work with? And that's how I acquired some other geckos. I'm like, oh, this pastel looking gecko is kind of cool. Let me get that. Oh, this gecko over here is really cool. Let me get that. So my collection actually ended up being very diverse, and I like it that way. And I do have some really nice red geckos, gargoyle geckos, beautiful ones at that. But I try to see what I can do with the other ones that I had invested in, because I was like, wow, that's a really nice, what can I do with this dark, gecko? I like these melanistic looking. Is it melanistic? What is it? Nobody knows. But I like these I have a gecko that's very reticulated, and I'm like, I love it. Like, no one's looking at these geckos the way other people are looking at it. And so, yeah, if you want to pull it up, I have one reticulated gargoyle gecko that I am just in love. I have not bred them yet. I've been trying to figure out what directions I want to do, so I'm not in a hurry. Let's see. There's the Chihuahua at the top that I was telling you about. He was on the wire. Yep. He decided to go take a little walk on the wire.
Is this one from? Where's this one from?
That's Jason. Oh, Jason sent me that gecko. Yes, I love it.
Do you have a pair? Do you know what they are yet? Do you know what genders they are? Do you have a pair?
I don't know. I was hoping. Well, the one that I got from Phil, I think, is a female, so I was hoping to get a male. And then the other 2 that I have are too small.
This is looking like a female already, Nelson.
Yeah, that one does look female.
I'm good. I could tell by the time
Yeah.
8 grams. I can tell by the skin on the vent. Females
Oh, okay.
have more skin and a longer skin onto the tail than the males do.
Yeah.
I'll show
So
you
I'm
later, but it's something. I
yeah,
mean, it's not a real science, but I've never been wrong yet with them.
yeah, I'll have to show you the other ones too, because I think they're all female. I don't think I have a male, to be honest.
Well, if I got males, tell you say the word. I got a plethora of extra males that I have, that I've produced, that I unfortunately just don't have females for. I'm
Yeah,
trying to make up the females right now. What's all? This is your lychee, huh?
that's my lychee.
What look? Is this a girl? You said it's a girl, right?
It's a female. Yeah,
What
she just laid her first set of duds like last
really?
month. Mm-hmm.
What
She's
locale is she?
180 grams right now.
What locale is she? Moro and Nuana?
She's a Nuana Nuami locale.
The one I'm sending you, it's a mixed locale, but she has Nuana and Nuami in her.
Yeah, that's this one, and she's
Or
het
I'm
for
sorry,
melanistic.
Moro and Nuana. The father is
Okay.
a GT cross. The father is a GT A and a Pine Island
Yes.
cross, and then the mother is a Moro and Nuana.
Now, do you see she has like she's het for melanistic, and I'm not really sure about what that means too much when it comes to lychees.
People say
Do you
this
see something different about her top layer, her like dorsal, you would call? Does that look
to
dark, or
me.
is that like normal?
To me, it looks normal, but see that dark veining right there?
Yeah.
Those black veins? That's typically what you look for in a het male. They'll have these black spider webbing veins on the top of their neck. Now,
Okay.
I've seen them that weren't het male that have had those lines, so I don't know. I'm by any means a leading authority on Leachianus. I've finally produced them. I have about 6 or 7 myself, but I don't have anything melanistic, and I'd be lying to if I said for sure. But you do look for that spider webbing up around the back of the
That
neck there.
okay. Perfect.
But she's a healthy animal. She's beautiful.
Oh, I love her. She's amazing.
Yeah, they're cool. Not quite as
Yeah.
cool as Chihuahuas to me, but
Yeah.
they're cool for other reasons. The size
Yeah.
is insane. They're just not as personable, if you
No.
ask me.
She's like a little pit bull inside the tank. Like if I go and try to grab her and she's inside, she tries to go for me. But once I get her out, she's like a little puppy dog. So it's
Fortunately,
very
I
territorial.
won't know that I'll be able to send you a male. By the time I send them, I won't be able to sex them that small. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But I highly doubt I'll be able to tell what gender it is. I mean, down the road, if the one I have that I keep winds up being a male, then I'll send you a male. 'Cause I don't need a male. I
Yeah.
actually, yes, I do. I have a solo, but I'm going to get something different for her. I got a big old GTA female. I want to get a GTA male.
That's the Chihuahua. That's the Phil Tremper
Hold on. I'm going
Chihuahua.
to stop the Lambo.
Yeah. That's the Chicago Auto Show.
That thing's got drag tires on it, huh? She got
Yeah, I think
some old
it's
slicks
really
on that
cool.
thing. Who? This is from Tremper. This is from Phil.
Yes, that's Phil Tremper. That's the one that was able to trade with the two Ibnawis
It's like
for.
the stuff I've been making looks like this.
Yeah,
Love this.
they're
Sometimes those
incredible. I know.
peaches are hard to call because sometimes the peaches will stay peach, and then sometimes the peaches will actually go pink. So it's
Yeah,
hard to say without knowing what the parents look like. But I've had it go opposite ways myself, to be completely honest. I've had pink animals just make peach animals, and very pretty. It's a beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful animal
Yeah,
right there. I'm
beautiful.
trying to see if I can see what if I get an idea what gender it is. How much does this one weigh? Do you know?
I
Roundabout?
actually I haven't weighed her. I think it's a female, but
I
I
do
haven't weighed.
too. I'm sitting here just looking at the skin at the base of the tail, and I think that it is. I think it's a female.
Yeah, I think it's a female too.
Not
And it's
wrong
funny
with a
because when I was
female like
getting it,
that.
yeah, when I was getting into gargoyles, every gecko that I got was a female. I was having a hard time getting a male.
Well, isn't there some science behind that? There's a reason, isn't there? Like, aren't they a predominantly female heavy breed?
Yeah, so I have one male that produces males,
Oh, you
just
do. You
like
got a male maker. I talked to Paul
yeah,
about that. Paul Morlock. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him too. He vents Tinley, and I talk to him all the time. And he mentioned that to me,
He's
and so I
brilliant,
started paying
a
attention.
brilliant one, man. Talk about observations. He's been just staring
Yeah,
at these things.
yeah. So I have one guard that only produces males, and I have one that only produces females.
Interesting. What's this? A cap here?
That I produced that one from one super stripe uh soft scale gecko, the females from AC Reptiles, and then the male is one I got from another local store. I didn't even know anything about
You don't think
empty.
that's a cappuccino?
I don't know. It didn't come from cap parents, but it does look cap. They came from my two super stripe empty backs.
See, I know nothing
That I
about caps either, but I know I want to work with
yeah.
them. So I've been getting a couple. I've been blessed enough. I've had, a couple people gave me cappuccinos, believe it or not, just to
Yes,
see what I could do with.
I have quite a few caps. I can take
Do
pictures and
you,
send them to you if you want to see what they look like.
do you really?
Yeah.
But my whole, I still cannot quite figure out after looking at the couple that I have. I'm like, all right, well, tell me what's different about this that I've been making, because I swear to God, I have cappuccinos in my collection and just don't know it. Like I
Yeah.
can't find a characteristic that I can say, oh, that's definitely cappuccino, other than I know the people I got them from, they're cappuccinos. But I swear I have it in my collection, Nelson.
So a good way to test that is to pair them to a
Another.
lily white and see if you could produce some fraps. That's like the best way.
And what's
Uh,
a telltale sign between a frap and a regular lily white? I know some do, but I got some lily whites that I swear to God are fraps.
yeah, so if you look at the head pattern,
Yeah.
you probably have to pull up one. The head pattern on the frappuccinos, it looks like it's like there's a cap you just passed up. It looks
Where,
like
here?
up more to the right, that gray one on the right.
Oh, really?
That's a cap.
See, and I would never say that was a cap. I would never think that was a cap, being
Yeah,
gray like
that,
that. I thought they were all like
that's a,
brown.
yeah, that's a cap from. I got that one from feedle over
Oh,
in,
shit.
yeah.
Apparently, see, I didn't like that. I never saw that one. Where do you have any fraps? So you're talking about the white,
I
right?
do
How the
have a
white starts impeding on the head,
yes, exactly. Like it, I should. I don't know if I
and a
posted. I
lily
have
white, it's more brown. The brown will come down in a lily, and the white goes up in a frap.
yes, yes. You have to if you see a picture. I don't know if I posted. I know that's a
See,
sable.
oh, it is.
Yeah, there's
You
the
got
frap right there.
sables
Yep.
now
You
too,
see how the head stamp is, and it looks like it's uh
moving up the head. Like,
eating into the
yeah,
into the white portion of the dorsal there.
yeah.
Like it. That's a good telltale sign of a frap right there.
You got sables?
I have two sables. Yes, I have a sable and I have a lily white sable too.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Good for you. They all come from Korea? Did I
Yes.
pass them?
Yeah. You passed the one. Yeah. There's a baby sable, and sables and caps are hard to distinguish between the two.
Is this
Let's
one
see.
of them? What is it? Is it?
No, I produced that one too. That one's from my super empty back pairing.
It's a pretty gecko. Nice pin, great structure. I want to see a sable. See, that's one of those weird genes where I would love to work with, but I'm just kind of sitting back, letting other people work with them, and then I'm learning, watching other people, and then if I feel it, I guess then I'll get into them.
Yeah.
But they've been doing incredible stuff. What's this? Just a lily, or is this a save?
Yeah. That's one I produced too. That's from a cold fusion line from and a lily white. So as that one grows, I'm hoping to see like a lavender color when it fires down, like a bluish color with the lily white. I think that would be really right. There's a sable. That's the baby
This one.
sable right there. Yep.
So what
Hmm.
makes this a sable now? What is this? I thought sable was like all white. Will this turn white, or tell me what you
Yeah,
know
it'll.
about the sable gene? Teach me.
So what only thing I understand from these sable genes, honestly, is they the ones that I have look like caps. But if you put a cap and a sable together, it doesn't make any lethal animal. You get I forget what they call it.
The luau.
Yeah, luwak exactly. And so that's a good way to determine if you have a sable, you put a sable and a cat together. But the coloration, it's really, when I see them and I go to the shows, I see a lot of these sables at the shows, at the reptile expos. I automatically think they're cats. I'm like, is that a cat? But was that one a cat? But yeah, they're a little bit, they're slightly different when you put them next to each other. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll put a couple videos with my caps and my
Yeah,
sables
that'd
next
be
to each
cool
other.
if you did do that, Nelson.
Yeah,
I
that,
love the way you make your videos. What's this? Oh, you got Xanthics too. I forgot about that.
yeah, that's my Xanthic.
Damn, you got
That's why I
everything
said,
out there.
well, that's what I said. Crusties are really fun. They're a fun animal for all the different, options that you have.
Have you produced any of these yet? Have you produced any Xanthics?
I Not yet, but I do have a female that's ready to go. That's I have a 100% het lily white female that I'm going to pair with him uh next season. I mean, they're both ready to go now. I just don't have the room to have
If
a
you
whole bunch of
start
geckos.
producing lily white Xanthics, you have to let me buy one from you. Because that's an animal I want for a pet. Like I just want an Xanthic lily white. Like
Oh, you,
I think I would never even breed them because I just want that as a pet, and I'm gonna put it in a dope black and white cage. Like I'm gonna make it like the Nightmare Before Christmas. I had this whole dream of what I would do with a black and white gecko.
man, you should have told me earlier. I would have. I purposely didn't breed my. They're both ready to go. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want more geckos in the gecko room. I wanted to hold back.
Probably good.
Some of my breeding projects I put on pause because I don't want it to grow too big.
Oh, look at this one. I'm a sucker for these red orange things. I don't
Yeah,
even. I just love these colors. That's a
yeah,
lily
that's
too, huh? What a hell of
that's
a
a
thing
lily.
on him. He's got a monster knot.
Yeah, that's a lily white. Yeah.
He's awesome. Very cool. What is this? So this is just a lily, right? That's not a frat.
Yeah. No, that's just a normal high expression lily white.
Awesome. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful gecko too.
And all these geckos I bought as babies. These were not. I grew all these geckos.
Any particular reason on why you do that? Why would you suggest, or would you suggest someone buy babies versus adults? What would you suggest for a new buyer, a new person in the house?
I think at the time when I was buying geckos, adults were hard to come by, and so that kind of led me to buy a bunch of babies, which was fine. If you want the fast track, you want to buy adults, but you never know what they're going to produce. Uh, if after it's an adult, some people maybe they're not good producers. Maybe there's a reason why they're selling them. But babies, you grow it, you know exactly what's going on with it. You know its mannerisms. You know how to take care of it. And then you just know what you're getting with the animal as opposed to buying an adult.
You get to watch him
And there's nothing.
progress. You know,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with buying adults. It's just I like watching them grow
me
and,
too.
and learning
I've
the
never
animal.
bought a single adult gecko. Every gecko I've ever bought has been a baby, and 90% of the reason is because I want to watch them progress. So when those geckos are old enough and do start reproducing themselves, I'll be able to gauge what they look like as babies off the hatchlings that I have. You know, I'm like, well, the mom looked like this, the mom had that, the mom did that, that color went that way, this did this, you know, I have these mental notes of what happened with every animal I have. I mean, over 200, I can remember every one of them from a baby till adult, every life stage, every animal that I have, I know like the back of my hand. This is
That
super
gecko,
unique.
yeah, I hatched that gecko. That was one I
This
produced
one?
too. Yes,
Really?
that was from my first female black and white gecko to a reticulated gecko, and both mom and dad did not have phantom eyes. So that gecko came out of two normal looking geckos.
That's interesting. This animal has a sick head too. That's probably one of the
Yeah,
best heads I've ever seen on a guard, to be completely honest with
yeah.
you.
That one's very unique. That was my first hatchling. My first gecko I ever produced is that one. That one's my
Never
forever
let that
gecko.
thing go. You keep that
Yeah.
forever. Do you breed
And
her?
so
Do you
when it
work with
when
her?
it turned into a phantom, what's that?
Do you breed her? Do you work with her?
I'm planning on it, but right now I kept her only as a pet, but she ended up turning phantom eye, which it just blew my mind. I never thought
Which
it.
is sick
So
with a black and white animal. The black eyes like that
it
is nuts.
it was overnight, and when I opened up her enclosure. I was like, is that really phantom eye? Because I've had her for 3 years. And it went from one night to the next. She went phantom in both eyes. I've heard that sometimes like one eye will go phantom, one will get darker, and then it takes time. She literally went phantom within 2 days.
Was
It
there
was like
anything
one day.
before that? Did you notice anything that would lead you to believe she was gonna turn that way?
No, I had
Really?
no indication. I do have a picture. I don't know if it's on the Instagram. I have posted her before her eyes even turned. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, that's another beautiful
I
red
remember
empty
when you
bag.
got this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was my comment right there. Did you start working with this guy yet?
He's full grown now. I haven't, like I said, I only paired a few geckos. My gecko room is full of babies that I'm watching growing right now. And so I have stuff that I'm gonna definitely work with, but it's not I'm not rushing the process whatsoever. I'm
Also,
definitely taking my time. Yeah.
that gecko's killer though, man. Is this yours or this was at a show, right? Is this your?
Also, so that's at a show. I actually have the sibling to that
Oh,
gecko.
you do have a hybrid.
I have a hybrid, and it's the best of both worlds. I have to say,
I bet.
having it's just like a Chihuahua, but it's jumpy like a
Rusty
Cresty,
gecko.
and it's very inquisitive too. It's a
Really?
really really awesome. So yeah, I have the sibling to that
I
to that
tried to
gecko.
make them a couple times and I haven't been successful. I got nothing. I tried to make them two, three times. No luck.
Yeah, keep trying if you can. I know it could be a little scary.
Well, I do have extra males. I have extra male chihuahuas, plenty of them. But I don't. Well, maybe I will. You're talking me into it now. Is this the same girl with the phantom eye here?
That's a
No,
different
it got to
female.
be a different one. So you have multiple geckos with phantom eye then.
Yeah, I didn't produce that one. That one I picked up at Tinley. Uh, and I've seen the babies that she produced, and I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. I can't wait for. It took me a long time to find a male for her because she's really really big, and I didn't want to put. Uh, you want to try to keep the same size gecko together. You don't want one. Okay, so that picture that I'm at Wally's table there.
Are you really?
Speaking of Wally, yeah, we're in Wisconsin there in Wally's vending, and I'm there talking to Wally, and he's telling me about this Pictus gecko, and I almost took it home. I almost started a Pictus gecko collection because of Wally. He really he talked it up so well. I was like, man, it's
People
like the
do.
perfect little gecko. Yeah.
People do. Jason has them. Jason loves them. Everybody I know that's got them loves these things.
And they fly when I go to Tinley and the breeders that have those Pictus geckos. If you walk around, they're like the first things to go. They fly off the tables really quickly.
It almost makes me want to get one to see why, right? Like,
Yeah,
we get back to some of these guys. Oh, is this your girl? This is your lychee right here too.
yeah, yeah. She's 80 grams there. See, she was smaller there, and that she looked just completely green. She's ended up developing a little bit darker dorsal, and those white blotches or those markings started being more pronounced as she aged. So it was nice to get her at that size because she was still changing. I thought that was exactly what she was going to look like as an adult, but she did change a little bit. So there's some change as they mature.
They change. I mean, mine are 5 years old and they're still changing. So who's Josh? Josh's Ark? That's where she came from?
Yeah, yeah, that was a person that produced that
Is he
gecko.
a
Yep.
vendor or?
Yeah, I met him at a local vending show. So he was we met each other. He vended right next to me. Great guy. He's an amazing guy. One of those people that I if he were to be on your show, I think that would be a great thing, to
Yeah,
reach out to him.
definitely.
Really,
Josh's
really,
Ark.
really good guy. Yeah, he's a really good guy and very knowledgeable.
Is this that? Did I already look at this one? I think I might have clicked on a bigger one, but you obviously made
Yeah.
this, right?
Yes.
Are those
Yep.
clutch mates?
Yes.
Insane
Same
how
parent.
different they look, right?
It's yeah. That's what I like. That's what I love about these animals. The variety and the difference from even in just the clutch mates themselves. It's amazing.
Sure. This is the first one you had?
Yes. Yep. That's the first one, and that one I got vending also. I was vending next to a guy, um, and he had taken that one in on a trade, and he didn't want it. I guess and he asked me if I was interested. I was like, oh yeah, that's my first Chihuahua, and she looks a lot redder now. She did change a lot.
They do. They. I can absolutely vouch for changing until they're 4 or 5 years old. They'll eventually settle into their colors, but they always fire up and fire down. And depending on what type of mood they're into, they'll fire up or down completely different. So are you working with, is this a project of yours, this empty back?
So I love the contrast. Yes. I love those pins, how they look white and then the rest of the body's mostly all black. So I have a thing for the empty back crested geckos. I think they're beautiful.
Sure. Yeah. That's one of the cap projects I'm trying to do, a cappuccino empty backs. This was just the guy's got the stripe going all the way up the tail. I've seen him in Korea where they got the stripe literally from the nose all the way down the tail.
Yeah.
Have you noticed these dashes on a lot of your empty backs on the tail right here? They'll have these 2 dashes, like 2.
Yeah. So
you have
the babies that come out super empty back have those 2 dashes. The ones that, even though I put two empty backs together, if the dorsal is not as pronounced or as empty, then it's kind of hit or miss on those stripes. But every time I hit a super empty back, I get those two lines.
It's good you noticed it, because I brought it up to people before and they have no idea what I'm talking about. They think I'm nuts. I'm like, dude, there's always 2 dashes on the tail, man. There's 2 dashes.
They're there. Yeah, they're absolutely there for sure.
What's this? I never saw that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's
this is an F1.
Yeah.
Wow.
That one ended up being a female, which is good because I have a nice male. Yes, that's not camera. That's exactly how that gecko looks. It looks white, just like that.
What is this? Like, it's like she's got like shooting stars on her. Looks like a galaxy or something.
So right there, she's fully fired down, and that's how she looks. When she fires up, she does have like a tan color to her. So she doesn't always look that white, but 99% of the time, if I go into the gecko room, that's how she looks. It's a wow every time. Every time I open her enclosure.
So what would be the point for people out there that may not know? What's the point of introducing some F1 bloodline? And maybe what does F1 stand for into your collection? What would be the point of someone seeking out an animal like this?
That's interesting you said that. Somebody just asked me that same question like 2 days ago. So the F1s come from 2 wild-caught parents. And the wild-caught parents, it's a special thing because they haven't imported these animals since the 90s. And so to find parents that are still wild is really hard to come by. And so a lot of these F1s are not true F1s. Sometimes you'll get a parent that's a true wild caught, and then you'll have bred to a normal. So in my collection, I've tried to find true F1s, and it's really hard. I think if there's somebody out there looking, I know somebody asked me, 402 Exotics is one of the only breeders that I think that have true F1s where she has both parents are wild caught. So the F1 would be the first generation from a wild caught parent, and then you go down a little bit more, you have a F2. F2 would be the second generation from the wild caught. So that's how you consider this F1s in that.
Oh, you're talking about in general. This is not an F2? Yeah. Oh, this is an F2?
No, that's just one I produced. Yeah, that's just
interesting. So by adding it, you're in theory would be adding some closer to the wild genes or stronger genetics into your.
Yeah, it's good to have great diversity in your bloodline. Everybody knows that a lot of these geckos are line bred, which is fine because you're trying to produce something and reproduce it, but sometimes you need to put some fresh blood in there for genetic purposes, and to keep these F1s and these wild caught actual geckos breeding, it just offers a great bloodline diversity in your stock.
So you mentioned line breeding. How do you feel about line breeding?
I think if it's done ethically, I think it's okay. Reptiles are not like mammals where defects are detrimental to like mammals. When it comes to reptiles, it's a little bit more forgiving, and so I think if you do it ethically and you're not just keep doing it just because you're trying to produce something, reproduce it over and over. At some point, if you line breed too much, you definitely have some issues. Obviously, you want to keep the blood uh, changing, but I think it's a necessity in some of these animals. Like you're not going to have some of these traits. Like I'm sure Xanthics were line bred. How are you going to find another Xanthic unless you line breed them and start like that? So if you do it right, you can get a line of animals, and as long as you keep outcrossing them and then breeding them back a couple generations later, you're going to have some healthy animals. I don't think it's a problem when it comes to the reptile world.
So the point of line breeding would be to isolate a gene or hone in on a gene?
Yes, absolutely.
Or a trait or something?
Or some type of phenotype that you want to work with that's special to that gecko, and you want to see if you can reproduce that again. Then I haven't had the reason to line breed, but when I see other breeders doing it, as long as they're doing it in a healthy way, I don't think that's a problem.
I agree. It's something actually I just really learned about not too long ago with geckos. I wasn't even aware. I was talking to someone on the Gecko Exchange podcast, and we are talking about leopard geckos, and I really don't remember who it was, but Tucson's Finest Leos or so. Somebody was on there, and they were talking about that. There's a huge percentage of the leopard geckos that would not exist if it wasn't for line breeding. It was line breeding that turned the leopard gecko industry into what it is today.
Absolutely. Yep.
And out of all of them, there's very few morphs, or genetic combinations that have any type of, potential side effects, or, any ailments. It's not like they're producing a bunch of animals that are sick, because that's just not true.
Yeah. I mean, there's been like in the crescent gecko world, I did notice like some lily whites will have that type of head wobble from time to time from line breeding, and also the sables. I've heard other breeders saying that some sables were having that head wobble issue. Yeah, so there is, you have to be careful. That's why I said it has to be done healthy, and you have to do it correctly. That way, you're not having major defects with these.
This is a pretty gecko. How many lily whites do you have in your collection? How many lily whites are you working with? Like breeders?
Man, breeder-wise, I have...
The point of my question is the yellowing on the white pattern. Some have that neon yellow, and then some are white. What have you observed within your collection in these combinations? Do some animals not ever get the yellow? Explain to me what have you been seeing? What have you been seeing?
So that gecko you're looking at right there, I bred that gecko to 2 females right now, and I have maybe about 20 or so babies that were hatched, and maybe about half of them are lilies from 2 different females. And that's exactly what I'm trying to answer right now. Like, what is going on with the yellowing? And so I have, these are babies I'm going to grow out until I could figure out. They all look white. All the babies that I have are pure white right now. And as they're growing, I haven't noticed too much of the yellowing. So I don't know when that yellowing is going to start to come in, or maybe the genes from the other gecko that I paired them to is interacting, because the one pair that I have is from the cold fusion line, which is a hypo line. And so I have that lily with the yellow bred to a hypo cold fusion gecko, which is black. So that's a red gecko that's on the screen to a black. So I have a dozen of lily whites that came out of that pairing, and I'm just growing them out, and hopefully I'll have an answer, and I can let you know.
Yeah, I would love to hear it, because I'm trying to figure it out myself. I feel like this one, now the more I look at it, this is more of a tangerine influence. Somewhere in this animal's lineage or the other, there's tangerine that made this.
Yeah.
Because it isn't even really like the highlighter yellow that you see on a lot of them. This is more of an orangish.
Well, when that one fires up, that one's not even fired up. It does look yellow.
It turns like a highlighter, like that highlighter color?
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, that's what it looks like fired down.
It's been driving me nuts because some of mine, like I said, have it, and then others I have are stark white, like full grown, full adults, not a trace of yellow on them. They are paper white. And then the others get this yellow hue, and I'm wondering what's influencing it. What's the deciding factor? What is causing it, and how do we use it to our advantage? So like this one from least right here looks paper white.
That is a paper white crested gecko. That's why I put on the paper. I try to show everybody how white that gecko is.
That's a beautiful gecko.
Yeah,
powder.
That one I tried breeding because it was one of my favorite geckos. And the first season, that's the one that ended up having a prolapse, and it really put a dampener on my breeding. So I didn't breed him the following year. I know I've talked to other breeders that have bred geckos with the prolapse, and he's still able to produce. I just wanted to give him a long break. So next year, I'm definitely gonna pair him to and see what I could make with that gecko, because I don't see my one yellow lily white, that one that you it's really got that yellow, and that one's really white. So they're so different, yet they're the same.
So I know you said you'd kind of dialed it back this year because you had so many baby geckos growing up. What are some pairs? What pairs are you running? What do you have going right now? What were you not taking a break from? What did you say I'm running this year?
This year I didn't run anything.
Oh, you don't have
this
anything going?
No, because I decided to wait because I wanted to hone in on a project. I want to really concentrate. So I'm just growing out these babies to see what direction I want to go with the parent.
I respect it. This is beautiful. I love the contrast on these things. Would this be considered a Halloween? Is this what a Halloween is? Or they wouldn't have any white on the tail?
I do have one that's a Halloween that is more orange. That one I would just consider more of a not a super empty back, but like a het empty back. And that's the one I've been producing all the super empty backs with. That's the male. That's my main male that I've put to one of my super empty back females, and they're just making some amazing babies.
We get into the other species in a little bit. Beautiful animals.
Yep. That's that white gecko when it was a baby.
Oh, I was going to say, this is another white one or the same one? He was white from the beginning.
Yep, the baby. Yep. Those are.
Jeez, where did he come from?
I can't remember the breeder. I bought these, so that was early on. I was just buying geckos because they were nice. I didn't know about lineage at the time, and so I would have to just go back and kind of see where I got that guy from. It's been a while, and that's the male that's bigger now that I've put to everything. So I have babies that look like that.
That black,
but they changed. It didn't stay like that. The one that you just looked at, that's what it turned into. It didn't stay that.
So this one is.
It did change a lot.
Where is he? This one? That's him?
Yes, that's one. Yeah, that's not fully grown yet, but that's him. Yeah.
So is this yellow? Are you working with yellows too?
So I have a brindle female that produces those, and they're just amazing.
All right, so let's talk about some of these other geckos you got going on over here. How did these come across your radar? When and how did you explore off from the Gargs into Madagascan species?
So I always wanted a Fantasticus gecko, leaf tail, and no one was breeding them at the time. Like I said, when I was getting into these geckos, there was not very many people producing or selling these, and they were wild caught ones. And so I saw Frank Payne. He was producing these Ebenawis, and the head structure and the body looked just like a Fantasticus. So these Ebenawis were beautiful, and they're small. And I watched one of his videos, and he said how hardy they were. I was like, well, I can't get one of these other leaf tails, so let me try this species. And so I ended up buying it from him. And that's how I ended up. I actually wanted the other species, but this one is definitely awesome little guy, and they do very well. And so
how long have you been working with them for?
I've had those for 4 years now.
Oh, that
I believe. Yeah, I've had them for a while. Yeah.
What's this?
That's at the local zoo.
was gonna say
Yeah,
you've been holding out.
I wish I could have those. Those are not. You can't get those in America.
Jeez.
Yeah, those are amazing. You have to move to Canada if you want one.
So what for some people that might not know, what are well, I guess if you never had the satanics, what
Yeah.
what are some differences? Why are Ebenawis? What would make an Ebenawi a better pet than a Fantasticus?
Well, the people that work with the Fantasticus, they say that they're a little bit more delicate when it comes to humidity. They're a little bit less forgiving, and they stress out a lot quicker. As opposed to the Ebenawis are more hardy. Uh, they keep them in groups, which is nice. I believe the Fantasticus also they keep in groups, but they do very well together. From what I hear, I only kept a small group together, and then I pulled a male out because when you're breeding them, the male gets a little zealous and sometimes bothers the females a little bit too much. So I don't keep them around. You can't keep them together year round, but I pull them out just to give the females a break. But yeah, I've just out of hearing stories. I wish I would own one. I might own one day. Buy one just to see what the difference is. So I'm just basically taking the word of other breeders that the Fantasticus is a little bit more of more of a stress-prone animal.
Same.
Yeah, and it kind of steered me away from actually wanting one later in life. The Ebenawis are just as cool.
These guys are incredible. These guys are absolutely incredible. I mean, mine are both from you, and they are out of 200 over 200 geckos. They're like on my top. Like they are the personality. These guys have so much personality. I don't even know how to explain it to people. Like, no, they're not a Chihuahua, but they're not damn. They're freaking damn not. They're not far off. You can see they think. They're moving around all the time. They're super inquisitive. They're super interested. There's something moving in their heads, man, and they are a very, very cool freaking animal, man. I can't say enough good things about him, man. I mean, I've had him hotter than people would say you probably should, and I've had him colder than I enjoy. That's for damn sure. These things are bulletproof as far as I'm concerned. These animals are awesome, awesome, awesome. I've never had anything, never even had anything worry me with these things, man. They always eat. They're always active. They bask in the light. I give them UVB and whatnot. I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to or have to or you don't have to.
But I would advise on it, yes, for sure.
Yeah, see, I mean, I give it to everything that I can other than my baby crested geckos. I just don't have a way to get them UVB, but I give it to everything. But my point is I watch them bask. They'll go up under the light. They move around the day and night. I mean, they're a little less moving around during the day, but just watching them perched up during the day in the light is cool as hell, man. They're awesome all the way around. I was just made a post the other day. I posted a picture of one of them. The male I got me on this crazy pattern. He was all fired up or fired down at nighttime. I came in, I snapped a picture of him last night or the night before. He had these crazy lines all over him. And it dawned on me that they're if it weren't for their size, they'd be one of the most popular, best pet geckos you could ever imagine. I mean, in all honesty, and not for nothing, as contradictory as it may be, their size is what makes them a huge plus for a lot of people. So it's not everybody wants a big gecko. In my book, the only negative is their size being small and I can't hold them or anything. But like I said, to a lot of people, that's a plus. You know, not everybody wants to hold their geckos. And
now, do you? I've been asking other people because I know that you've been caring for them too. Now, are you feeding calcium? Are you dusting the
on a regular basis?
Yeah, I know we talked about it before. From what I've noticed, that they can consume too much calcium, and I think that's a good.
Well, that's how I lost the cicoria that I had. Hypervitaminosis. I gave her. I thought I would, being a female, she was growing. I was nervous. I'm like, probably better off give her a little more than a little too less. and I actually wound up killing the damn thing. So when that whole thing happened, I cut with all my the Madagascan geckos, I cut off calcium but once a month. I do once a month to just give my animals good gut loads. I make sure that my bugs have a good calcium-based gut load, and I don't add anything. And they're all fine.
That's perfect.
Yeah, they're all doing perfect. But, and I give the UVB, so I sleep at night. I just, I haven't killed an animal and I don't know how long, like I said, and that one with that leaf tail I had messed me up, man. And it made me really reevaluate the whole supplementation process with my collection as a whole. I kind of pulled away from supplementing my geckos and trying to provide a more nutritious meals, if that makes sense. I try to give them better fed crickets, better fed roaches, and it's been working so far. It's been perfect. It's been fine.
Yeah, these are the kind of conversations I think go a long way when you talk to other people.
For sure.
I like to hear what other people are feeding their animals. How is that working for them?
Sure.
How much calcium, and those are like key elements to keeping these animals healthy.
Absolutely. Well, that's what my thought process was. It's like I shouldn't have to supplement. I shouldn't have to add anything to this meal if this meal was good enough, right? If this meal was good enough, I wouldn't have to add anything to it. I wouldn't have to dust it with anything if this cricket was nutritious enough. How do I make this cricket nutritious enough that I don't have to add anything to it? And that's what I did.
And I know a lot of times people are feeding their Madagascar animals snails, and that was something that kind of came to mind. I don't really know where to get the snails.
eBay. I have them. They're just too big for these ones.
Yeah,
you want to get glass snails. Glass snails, the ones that have the clear shells. You can almost crush them with your finger.
Yeah,
but I haven't gotten those yet. But I will. I'm on the hunt. eBay is where I've been finding them. It's just if you're not buying them as feeders, you're buying them for a terrarium. They're expensive. Yeah. They want like $60 for like 12 baby glass snails for a terrarium, and I'm just not willing to do that. I feel like I can find them for cheaper. Because you want to raise them and cultivate them. You can't just keep buying that. So you got to buy a small, breed them, raise the snails, and then go that route, which I will.
And that's another thing with breeding these leaf tails. They come out so tiny. It's hard to get live crickets delivered like when it gets cold out.
Yeah.
And so I've had a hard time reordering crickets. Order some more crickets. You see how tiny they are, and so that's the biggest hurdle is getting those tiny little,
How are you incubating these eggs?
I put them in a deli cup, and I have like a layer of moist peat moss in there. Then I have little cups, like feeder cups, and I fill that with like dry, like hatchite from Rapashi, and I don't let the eggs get directly wet. I have the humidity in the cup, and I have the cup sealed.
Oh, you close it?
And I close the cup, and I just check up on them maybe once or twice a week. I mean, once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I just open the cup, make sure there's some kind of airflow in there. I don't even know if it needs the airflow or not, but I want to make sure that I open it.
Are you incubating them, or you just leave them at room temperature?
I leave them right at room temperature. Yeah.
And this thing just hatched? This is a fresh hatchling right here?
That's a fresh hatchling.
So it is mind-blowing how small it is.
So tiny. But they're pretty hardy. It's just like getting the food for them, and the crickets, when I ordered them, they would come half dead during the wintertime, and I'd be like, oh, I need these right away. I need you to send them out. So that's
what's the solution? What have you done?
I've just keep, when the crickets come dead, fortunately from, the people that I order from, I let them know that the crickets are not doing well, and they expedite the next set instantly. So it hasn't been an issue in the cricket supplier. It's just getting them alive to my location. And the Chicagoland area in the middle of winter is brutally cold.
Have you tried anything else? Have you tried like fibrats or isopods, or have you tried any other type of feeders? Or
I tried feeding fruit flies to them because they're so tiny. The problem with fruit flies is they get out
I hear
and they
they're
infest your gecko
a
room.
companion.
I've been trying to. I've been dealing with fruit flies ever since Ever since I introduced these little guys to fruit flies to see if that would be something that would be sustainable because they're you could breed fruit flies easy. Yeah, I mean it's one of the easiest feeder insects in the world that you can feed
Really, I never
into
had
fruit
to
flies.
have them. I never had to to
So,
to raise them.
but if you introduce a fruit fly to your gecko room, you're gonna always have them. They always go in the gecko food and everything they produce so quickly overnight. You got fruit flies flying. So yeah, it's a struggle if you introduce a fruit fly to your gecko room. They definitely take over quickly.
I get some of those gnat outbreaks in the summertime.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa, it drives me nuts. I have like 5 different little mini Amazon electric bug zappers in every corner. It's like freaking disaster. So you're also working with cave geckos too, which
yeah.
I have one from you. Beautiful animal, by the way. What and how did you get into cave geckos?
So my daughter wanted a leopard gecko, and I saw these cave geckos. I wanted something different than a leopard gecko. I said, well, let's see what kind of geckos are out there that are similar uh, to a leopard gecko, and I just love the contrast. I like the black
Beautiful,
with
right?
the
They're
yellow
they're a
striping,
pretty gecko.
and they have those spots on them too underneath the black, coloring in the base. It's just one of those geckos that I was just like, yeah, this thing is amazing. So it was a gecko that I purchased uh, for the kids to have something different, and they
How
always
long,
wanted to. Do.
how
Yeah,
long have you been breeding them? How long have you been working with this species for?
I have those for about 4 years
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, about the same time, 4 or 5 years
You know
with
my
the.
luck is I got 3 of them, all girls, 3 girls. So now I just have 3. They're just I'm planning because I heard you can keep females together. I want to get a nice like 45-gallon front opening tank, and I'm going to build a terrarium and just let them live. I don't need to breed them, you know. I'll just let them
Yeah,
live as pets and just do their thing together. I always wanted like a colony type of enclosure anyway, so I
yeah.
figure they're the ones I'm going to do it with.
I do have uh quite a few babies. I'll grow a couple out and
I
see.
don't need people
Maybe
make them.
I'll
I don't
send
need
it.
to produce them. You know,
Oh, okay.
it's a blessing to have the 3 girls. My joy is there. It'd be cool to hatch them
Yeah,
and breed them and see what a baby looks like. But I had all mine from babies. You know, I just want to watch them live in a cool enclosure. I'll try to make like set up like a floor in jungle forest and whatever type of environment they live in China.
yeah,
I'll put a little waterfall, some wet rocks, it'll be cool. You'll see. What is this bad boy right here? Is this a,
that's a female cappuccino.
oh, it is a cappuccino.
That's a cap. Yeah,
It
that's
looked like the
my first.
spots disappeared. Like she had spots and she got bigger and they
Yep,
just disappeared.
yep. She's I have produced babies from her too.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, and they're growing out. So I have a beautiful baby that looks like pure gray. It's really cool.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen them until tonight. I thought all caps were brown. And you're showing
yeah,
me gray. That's gnarly. I wonder why. Is it like a hypo cappuccino?
yeah. There are hypo cappuccinos out there.
I, I,
I think Korea is working with them for sure.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine some of these things. All right, so what's up with vending? Do you have plans on vending here? We're 7 hour. We're coming up on 2 hours. You're gonna kill me. You know me. I just
No,
talk.
you're fine. So I'm vending in August. I'm doing the Schomburg show. I tried to do the Schomburg show. Yeah, I did it last year. No, Bobby's not. I don't think he's doing a show. He says that uh, he didn't have enough animals, so he wants to build his collection a little bit higher so that uh, he can have more animals for the show. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna do Schomburg, and then I do some local shows. Yeah, and I enjoy the shows. The Chambercho is almost like a mini Tinley. So it's really nice. A lot of people. It's all the big breeders go there too. So there's quite a few breeders that I saw on the list that I want to meet. I want to
Awesome.
like, oh yeah.
Good.
So there's.
Have you? I know you had mentioned to me in the past about doing some of these programs at the kids' school where you would take the animals in and teach the kids. Do you have any plans to do anything else like that again? Is that something that you would like to do? Or
So I did it. I did it a few months ago. I did go to. So the children were homeschool children, and they were meeting at a church. That's what happened. And so I coordinated with the church and the homeschool people to do a presentation for the children, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that was really, really good. And they're like, we don't have any money to pay you. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this for no, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. We're gonna go. So I did it. I did it because I wanted to teach, and watching these children's eyes would light up. It's
all
There's
about
no amount of money in the world that can
buy that.
Yeah. So I brought all the species. I brought a cave gecko, then I brought Chihuahua. I didn't have the lychee at the time. My next one that I do, I'm going to bring the lychee. And then I brought a couple crested geckos and some gargoyle geckos. And then I printed out some posters so they could see what it looked like in the wild. And then they were on a subject of blending. That's what they called it. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go. I asked the teachers, I'm like, what were you guys talking about with these animals? And they're like, blending. I'm like, okay, tell me a little bit more about blending. Well, how the animal looks in the wild and they blend into their environment. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I bring some cork bark, I bring some leaves, I bring some pictures of like leaf tails in the wild. And you actually gave me a great idea. It was that website because I was looking for some. Exactly. I went on there and I printed out these pictures from the wild. Then I did a presentation with the children, and I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. Like I really enjoyed it. So I want to do it more. I want to do those are something. It's something that I want to continue to do, and it's just finding the time.
Yeah.
Time is you always get stretched. So because time is so thin, you gotta not only take care of the geckos, you got to take care of your family, and then you got to go to work, and then you got to
everything. Balance, man.
So
balance.
Balance is really hard. And so when I did that presentation, I actually had to take a day off of work, and that was putting me back some. So I need to figure out how I can work that into my schedule, because it takes a lot out to do something like that, but it's so rewarding that I was like, I have these animals and I need to share these with other people. So that's exactly what I did.
Did you let the kids hold them? Were the kids able to hold them?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I took every animal out except for the cave gecko because it's a little jumpy. And the leaf-tailed gecko, I didn't want for the leaf-tailed gecko to get stressed out. But the chihuahua and the lychee and the gargoyle gecko, I just went around the room with everybody.
You know how many lives you probably changed, Nelson?
Yeah.
How many lives you probably seriously, and I'm dead serious, someone out of that group, and I don't even want to say someone, because there's probably a statistic. There's probably a few of those children that will grow up and have these animals because you did that. Fact.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the teachers, some of them never seen these animals, never even touched. They were like, "Can we touch?" I'm like, "Yeah." I had the teachers lined up. I had all the students lined up, and it's funny because I had a row of kids and teachers. I said, "Okay, everybody's got to be a tree." So I had everybody with their arms out, pretending to be a tree, and so I would go to each person and put the animals on them like they were little trees. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really what I see you doing too. Not that I'm saying I don't see you breeding animals and vending and all that, but from day one, I've always just seen you as this teacher, right? Like you have this gift with delivering information. You do it in a very, I don't even know how to say it. It's a very unique way you have to deliver information. You do it in a way where if someone already knows the information, it's like, oh, cool, good to hear. And someone that doesn't know, it's very uninsulting. Like you don't come off as insulting to anybody. It's like This is just what we know. This is what we've learned. This is what you just have a very unique, smooth way of delivering information. And I've always viewed you as a teacher. Like you're always, from day one in your YouTube channel, Nelson is a educator. Nelson teaches.
Yeah, I'd love to have like a zoo and have people come to a zoo and just like show people animals and get them, handling them and touching them.
Sure.
I think that's important. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, if you want it bad enough, you could have it. I believe in you 100%. If you want to do something, I've yet to this day see you not do something you said you want to do. You'll do it. Yeah. That was really something that you could make work for your family, your time, your other business. If you could make that work financially, or even, have it not interfere with your financial life, I see you doing it all day.
Yeah. I know. I was talking to feedle in Korea, and they have places like a coffee lounge, and you sit and you have coffee, but then you have enclosures, whether it's like reptiles or fish or saltwater, and you can interact with these as you're having a coffee. I was like, wow, that's a great idea. There's not really any place in the United States that, I mean, there's zoos, right? But this takes it to a different level where you're sitting down, you're relaxing with a cup of coffee and experiencing these animals in front of you in these enclosures that look like where they came from. So it's like taking a zoo and luxury time and then blending it together. And I was like, wow, that's pretty an amazing concept. And it's doing very well out there from what I understand.
I've seen videos of them.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen it? Yeah.
Well, I've seen it. There was a guy in a coffee shop somewhere in Korea and he was holding a rat snake. So he was like holding a snake while drinking a coffee. And then they like showed the place and it was like a coffee shop / pet therapy reptile type of thing. I was like, that's unique.
So I'm trying to put my mind together to think outside the box. Like when you say where you fit in breeding, I'm not really. I do breed because I enjoy it, but I feel like there's something that could be done differently in the reptile hobby that hasn't been looked at before. And that's why I try to talk to so many people. I try to see what's working in this country. What are they doing over here? Who's doing this over here? What ideas do you have? Why haven't you tried that idea? And I try to learn from everybody. And then what I learn, I try to put it out so that other people could hear those ideas. And so I'm hoping, I wish I could say I'm on a break of some great idea. You can't really reinvent the wheel, but there's definitely things that can be done here that can work. And I'm hoping to find that thing, because I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, I've had reptiles my whole life and I enjoy it. How can I make that experience better for other people? It's kind of what I keep asking. And vending is one of the best ways to talk to people and to interact and say, I was over here. This guy has this. This is awesome. I was been doing this. I have this idea. Oh, look at what I have for this reptile. So vending is not just, I have this gecko, buy my gecko because I bred it. Vending for me is, how do I get more ideas to make this hobby better? Right? What are people's concerns? Why don't you keep this animal? Is it because something? Why? So I try to answer the whys in my head, and hopefully something will trigger. So I'm always going to be looking and searching for something that can help.
I can tell you're always thinking. I can tell you're always trying to look for the next.
Yeah, and I'm not looking for like the next big thing. I'm looking for the thing that, like what you're doing, your podcast. You're making this community better and people reaching out. What besides that is this community lacking?
Well, you do that also, Nelson. You do the YouTube thing, but you do a good job at education. Guys, if you don't know, I'll post the link in the bottom of the video, but Nelson also has a YouTube channel. It's one of my favorite, NCG Reptiles. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels. You've been slacking, but they're great videos. Life gets in the way. Nelson's a man, great father, awesome husband to his family, his wife. You know, he's got a lot going on. But the videos that are up there, awesome videos. They're definitely worth checking out. Go check out Nelson's YouTube page. Give him a follow, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And he's going to get us some more videos. Promise.
I've been trying to see what direction that people want. What kind of content?
These new genes. Really introduce us to these new genes. You got a collection, Nelson, that people like me dream about. Show us what the sables do over time. Show us what the caps are doing. Show us how your xanthics are progressing. Show us what you are thinking about pairing up with them. What your goal is. Show us some of the, you know, you have access to animals that a lot of us just dream about. You know, compare the, like you said, compare the cap and the sables. That'd be an interesting video.
Yeah. So I definitely have to get back on that. I wasn't sure what direction that I was going to. I've been posting shorts just so that people could see the animal. And that's kind of how I've been maintaining the animal. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of shorts just so that people can see, this is Chuhua, this is Gargoyle, Gecko, this is. So I've been doing a lot of shorts just so that people know I'm still there, but I haven't really made any like long content. But I'm gonna put my mind together and try to see what kind of long. I used to get a lot of people asking questions, and then I try to answer it in one of the videos. But lately, like, the questions hasn't been anything that's been too heavy. So, I'm hoping that, you know, something's going to trigger. I want genuine videos to be like, okay, this is what I did, this is what helped me. I just don't want to make a video to make a video.
Well, I'm asking a question now. What are the visual differences between the caps and the sables? I want to see two animals side by side. I want to know how they progress differently, I want to know. That is a sincere, from the bottom of my heart question. I have not seen anyone compare the two yet. I've heard individuals compare the two with one on hand, but I've never seen anyone say, this is a cap, this is a sable, this is what's happening with this. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. I've never seen anyone, and even enough to say this is what the hobby is saying. This is what the information that we have. This is, no one's done anything like that I've seen, and I've seen.
Well, I'll definitely put something out. I got babies right now, so I got a baby cappuccino, baby sable, and I'll do progression pictures. And then it's probably going to take a few months because I want them to grow. And during those progressions, I'll take pictures at like 10 grams. I'll take pictures at 20 grams, at 30 grams. And then that way I can maybe post the pictures up in the video and say, hey, this is this gecko at this. Is that kind of like what you're thinking would be?
That would be cool. That would be cool too. But even to just have the two in your hand, you know, if you didn't
I would have
and say, look at these two. Can you tell the difference, guys? Can the audience, can you see what's different? One's a sable, one's a cap. Which one is which, you know? And see, to even get feedback to see what people think. Because I guarantee you, most people can't tell. I look at thousands of geckos a day. I can't tell.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah. So, perfect. That's a perfect idea.
But you have a gift either way. I'm not trying to put you on a hot spot or anything, but you have a gift, and it's like one of my favorite go-to channels. When I come in the gecko room, I look for videos that are like longer form, where it's a familiar voice in the background, and I could just clean my room and listen to one of my buddies talk. Man, I love it. It'd be, and even with the kids, man. I mean, that's freaking awesome, man. Your builds, you do the builds with the girls and the kids. You're doing the what was it, last one? The Ebanawi? Was it Ebanawi? You built a tank for something.
Yeah, it was an Ebanawi setup. Yep.
That's definitely needed more Ebanawi content. There's nobody doing Ebanawi content.
Yeah, and I try to keep it simple. I don't want to overcomplicate anything.
That's your way. That's your gift. You have this gift of making things very teachable, very palatable.
I want everybody to feel that they can do it. That's my intention.
And you do it well.
If you get too heavy into too complicated, it deters the person, and it makes them like, oh my goodness, like I don't want to.
Been there.
I don't want to do this. I'm gonna make a mistake. So I give the bulk of the general idea of what it takes to take care of these animals, and that gives people the confidence to want to do it. And once you have that confidence, and when you learn the little basic, it's just you're gonna naturally learn more about them as it goes. So you don't have to dump all the information at once like an encyclopedia, and then overwhelm somebody. And, oh, I gotta know this, I gotta know this, and I gotta do this. If you just give them the pure basic idea and say, hey, you could take two Ebenawis with some basic understanding of lighting and humidity and some substrate and where to put the leaves. You can set this up. You could have a visual in front of you. And once you see that, you definitely can do this. Anybody could do this, you know? And that's where I want to set it up. Now, people are going to have questions, reach out. You know, people reach out to me all the time. Oh, I have my, should I do this? I'm like, well, yeah, you know, I don't need to make a whole video on that because you could reach out to me. Anybody, if you see a video and you're like, wow, that seems real simple. Is there something I'm missing because it's not working out for me, even though you made this look really simple? You know, it might be something a matter of just the humidity or feeding schedule or temperature. And I could tell you exactly. Many times people are like, my temperature for my Ebenawis, I'm not sure if I got it right. Where do you have yours at? So 99% of my questions about an Ebenawi is like, where do you keep your temperatures at? Well, I keep them a little bit cooler, keep them around 72 degrees, and that's kind of where I keep it stable. I don't let the temperatures fluctuate too much, and that what works for me because humidity and temperature, they go hand in hand. If you have a room that's a little bit more warmer, maybe your humidity is a little bit higher. Maybe if you have a room that's cooler, maybe your humidity is a little bit lower. So, you know, get a little humidity gauge, see where it's at. They're not very,
So I was just looking at mine
expensive.
now. What the hell is it?
Yeah, so it might be something simple like that. So I don't give a hard concrete like this is how you do it per se, but like a general because everybody's housing is different.
It's the
You know,
best
if you
way
have
to
your
do it. You know, when you
yeah,
start being like definite with your information, it
yeah,
scary deters people. Like you have to do this, and it has to be this. Like it'll throw. How many times I've thrown my hands in, like, well, I'm not doing that. You know, that's not
yeah,
happening. But when you present it the way you do, like if you guys do generally do this and you generally do that, and you give them this opportunity, you know, this is the outcome you could expect to see. It's much
yeah,
more, again, like I said, palatable than it is to have someone saying your room's got to be 72 degrees, and if it's not 71% humidity, your animals are going to die. You got to have this, you got to have that. If you don't use UVB, you might as well give the animals away. They're as good as dead. Like you do it in a very nice way.
yeah.
What was the inspiration? And again, say I say we're going to wrap this up, and I keep going. What was the inspiration behind? I know you told me, but I want our listeners to know the history behind it. What was your inspiration for the YouTube channel? What made you decide to go down that road?
I'm not sure what I told you, but from
There used to be cars. You used to post a lot about cars, and then
no, the YouTube channel was actually uh, it came from my one of my daughters, my older daughter. He said, "Hey, Dad, why don't you make a YouTube channel?" And I'm like, "Why am I going to make a YouTube channel?" So that's actually how it happened. I was
so I was wrong. I thought we were talking, and I thought
we
you
were
posted the
we
video
did
of the
talk about
car, and one of the car things went viral, and that whole situation
oh that
with the software or whatever. And you were like,
oh so that okay so that conversation we had that didn't inspire my YouTube channel. That was a conversation I thought about doing YouTube channels in the past.
oh,
And my first test run was I had made a video on one of the cars that I had built and I drove it through Chicago and I posted it and it went viral. But what happened was
you don't got to tell me
because of the
details.
yeah, yeah, I won't give the whole details, but the company that I was working with didn't want that information out. And you know, I'm about giving out information and they weren't very happy about the information that I had given out about the details of how I did this to this vehicle. And so I had to take it down. And so I knew I was able to do it. So that was my point when I told you the story. Like I knew I could do a YouTube channel because I did try it in the car industry and it went from 0 to 100 in like hours. Like it went so viral. It was unbelievable. And I was like, okay, well, I have an example of something that did work when I tried it. and I did away with it again. And then my daughter's like, why don't you do one of these videos for your geckos? And I said, no. She pushed me. She's like, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. She's like, you gotta do it. She's like, Dad, you gotta do it. Just do one. She's like, just do one and see how it goes. I'm like, oh. So I did one video. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't too bad. And another video, oh, that wasn't too bad. So it was the fact that I had that viral video go up. It didn't translate to Gecko. I'm sure if I did another car video, it'd probably go through the roof. But I'm not looking to be famous. It was my point. Like I don't do the YouTube channel to be famous. I have a totally different perspective on why I do things than most people probably think. Right? Like most people want to do a YouTube channel and want to get monetized and make all this money. This I'm like, no, it's cool, but that's not me. I just want to introduce information. I like giving out information. That's kind of my reasoning for the YouTube channel.
I'm telling you, you're a teacher at soul, man. You're a teacher at soul. It's awesome. It's a good. People like you deserve to succeed at things you do, man. And I'm glad you are, man. Your videos were a huge inspiration for me doing YouTube and stuff. Watching your videos, I was, super nervous about being on camera. I mean, I'm not a shy person by any means, but I don't like the spotlight. Like I don't care for it. But if it's what I got to do to get people together, to get people talking, to get information out there, then I'm just a vessel. What does it matter? I could care less.
You're doing a great job. I love it. I'm excited to watch your videos. And I don't know if you remember, just as a side note, I remember there was something special about you. Since you're always talking so great about everybody, I want to say something about you. So you commented on one of my videos before, a long time ago, one of the first ones, I believe. You found me right away. And I'm like, who is this guy, right? You didn't have a YouTube channel. You didn't have this, and you really didn't have a Gecko Instagram. You had like a personal one.
Yeah.
So you liked my one of my videos with your personal page, and I went to it, and I told my wife, I was like, there's something special about this guy. I saw your dog on there, and I saw like you had like the picture of a boat or like a arena, a marine like a thing, like water and you're out in the woods. I was like, this guy's he's living the life I want to live. I'm like, he has a dog that I want. I'm like, it was nothing to do with geckos. And so I messaged you because I wasn't at that time. I wasn't even really into social media, but I was like, you were so captivating. I knew there was something so special about you that I was like, hey man, I don't know what it is about. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know what it is about your channel or your Instagram. I keep visiting it. So I'm like, I was trying to encourage you to keep up with that channel because your Instagram channel, because I was like, okay, what is this guy up to today? I'm like, wow, okay, man, he lives in a really beautiful place. I'm like, what is he up to today? Oh man, he's got a really awesome dog. I'm like, what is this? And then you started getting to the geckos. I'm like, this is a gecko guy? I'm like, why, he's a reptile guy? And like, this guy's even cooler than I thought. I was like, and so you were somebody that I actually reached out to, and it wasn't even because of the reptile community. It was because I saw your Instagram page, and I was like, fascinated by everything that you were posting.
That's my life, man. I mean, I appreciate you noticing, but that's my life. That's what I do. I mean, I worked on fishing boats for a long time. I'm born on the water. I mean, the water is in my soul. The ocean is who I am. And my dog is my best friend, man. I can't do anything without doing it with him. I got to take him with me. We're always exploring. What good is life? I got to stare at the same things every day. I like seeing stuff. I like doing things I've never done before. I like going places I've never been. I love seeing things I've never seen. I love meeting people I've never met before. I love change, I guess. I love differences. I love unique people. Like I love...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I have to thank you for your channel.
I appreciate you, man, more than you know. All right, so now we are coming to the end here. Where can everybody find you? Where are you listing animals that you may have that are available? What are the best ways people can get in contact with you? I'll post your pages, your IG page and your YouTube channel on here. But say someone has a question for you, they want to run into a show. I know you said you were doing Schaumburg in August and whatnot, but do you have a Morph Market page or?
Yes. I have a Morph Market page. I only have maybe like 5 animals. I have more than 5 animals. I have probably like 100 that I could sell, but I only listed 5. So I have a Morph Market page. I have my Instagram is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I check it all the time. If you want something or you're looking for something, a lot of times people will be like, I'm looking for this, do you have it? And I'll see if I do. A lot of my sales are because people reached out and asked me because I don't really post anything. I'm going to bring a lot of animals to the Schaumburg show, a lot of stuff because I'm going to try to condense my collection and get ready for the next breeding season because I'm going to put my mind together, see what I really want to put together. And so I'll bring a lot of stuff. And so if you want, people can pick up the animal at the Schaumburg show if they're interested. Or if they just want to reach out to me, they have questions or any ideas, any YouTube channel ideas like the Sable Cat thing, hit me up. Hey, I want to hear more about this. Oh, yeah, Anthony had a great idea. Can you please, if you ask, most likely I'll say yes.
Guys, Nelson's one of the coolest people. I mean, I'm not even by no means exaggerating. One of the coolest people I've come across in all these years of these reptiles, man. Ask him a question, he'll give you the best answer he can. He's going to flat out tell you he doesn't have it. He will always respond to you. He'll always get back to you, and he makes some of the most beautiful animals I've ever seen. I have 5+ animals from Nelson, and if you know me, you know I don't take animals from anybody. I don't buy animals from anybody. I don't. And I'm not judging anyone, but I'm very particular with where my animals come from and the type of animals I look for. Nelson, I'm telling you, is on that level, guys. Like, his animals are hand selected for him, not to produce animals to sell to the public. His animals are quite literally bred with the intentions of them never being sold. If you can get one from him, it's worth the money. Trust me. So check him out, follow him, like, subscribe, share, and reach out to him, man. This is definitely one of the guys you want to have on your Rolodex, man. You definitely want to be able to talk to Nelson and kick ideas around, reach out to him. I mean, he's one of the good ones, guys. He's never going to lie to you. He's got 0 sales tactics. He's going to be a hunter with you all the time, man. And that's really what we should all look for, in a breeder, someone that we're investing in, right? So you buy one of these animals, you're going to have them for 30 years, right? They live 30 years. So if you do it right, you have an animal for 30 years, you're going to have Nelson for 30 years. He will answer you as long as you have one of his animals,
Absolutely.
And if you don't, he's answered plenty of my questions before I had him. I mean, and he's a plethora of knowledge on all types of species. He's worked with all types of cool stuff, man. And he teaches me all the time. I have a question, I reach out to Nelson. What's up with these Ebenawis and this cave geckos and the gargs? Everything that I have a question about. I'm telling you guys, introduce yourselves. I promise you, you will not regret it.
Yes.
All right, brother. It was a complete honor, privilege, blast. I feel like I didn't even get to ask any questions, and I haven't shut up for 2 hours. So
that's how it goes when you're enjoying a conversation and you're just sharing things. It's too fast, right? Like, it's like you want to stop time and say, hey, okay, we don't want to miss anything. So that's a good thing, it keeps people wanting more. And
for sure.
Man, I love what you're doing, honestly, from my heart, man.
I appreciate you for that. And also, guys, I'm going to volunteer, Nelson. If you're out in the Chicago area and you have maybe a school, a camp, anything that wants a presentation, wants someone to come give a presentation about these animals in your area, at least reach out to Nelson. I know a few people personally that do this in different areas throughout the country. They do parties, birthday parties, and little events at schools, and they show off the animals. They bring them to a show and tell and whatnot. At least reach out to Nelson and see what his schedule is like. The man loves to teach, and he can teach. He has a talent for teaching. If you have a party or a event, like I said, or something where you would want to maybe get some of these animals there and get your hands on them and check them out and learn, reach out to Nelson, man. Maybe you guys can make something work.
Yeah. Yay. Absolutely.
It's just something I really see you from the beginning, man. Like I said, my heart sees you teaching the masses. Like you're just a and I can only so many ways and so many times I can say it, but a natural teacher. You're a natural information sharer. It's a gift, because not everybody can teach that way. I mean, I'm dyslexic and I have ADHD. Learning for me is a very complicated thing. I have to either really, really want to learn what you're teaching, or I'm not learning, right? Every time we talk, I learn something. So it's I can vouch firsthand for your delivery with information. It's very absorbable.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, brother. I'm gonna hang with me after this. I'm gonna hit end.
Okay.
See you back there, guys. I love all of you, man. I appreciate every single one of you, man. If you've ever doubted yourself, or you ever questioned what you're doing, you question your worth, you question your value or your place in this hobby, remember, I may not be able to tell you what your place is, what your spot is, or what your role is, but I can tell you that you do belong. You do matter, and I know there's a place for you somewhere, guys. Find your niche, find your lane, find your people. Keep doing great things. I believe every single one of you guys is capable of it, man. I know you can. I appreciate you guys for for stopping by and sticking with us, the Gecko Exchange Network. We love every single one of you. We appreciate every follow, every like, every subscribe. We're doing a raffle and a giveaway, so go check out the IG page on the Gecko Exchange. We're giving away a couple animals, 3 animals. We're giving away the Rhacodactylus book. And some of the animals we're giving away were animals that wanted to be purchased, and I refused to sell them, especially that crazy red thing I'm giving away. I had people offer me $600 for the thing, and I don't even know what sex it is. I'm not going to take the money, and I'm not going to take it from one person when I had 10 people arguing over it. I'm going to give it to one of you. One of you guys can have it. I don't need the money. I got a job. I swing a hammer. I got a boss to yell at me all day. Do I really want your free money? Go sign up for the raffle, guys. I promise you, man. You win something cool this time. All right? Peace. Stay weird.